44 News. The U.S. began to be widely recognized as a world power in 1898 as a result of its decisive victory in the Spanish-American War. Montpelier native Commodore George Dewey was considered a national hero for helping to bring that about, sinking Spain's entire Pacific fleet at the Battle of Manila Bay while losing only one American sailor in the process to a heart attack. Within a year of the battle, Dewey was promoted twice. We briefly referred last week to his second promotion, in which he rose to the brand new rank of Admiral of the Navy.
Congress gave him a special rank I guess
that nobody else had,
or has ever had.
Yeah, he is a very unique individual, and he's the level of fame is just extraordinary. As I said, there's lots of items that his face was plastered on. He went on a nationwide tour, and by the time that tour wrapped up and he returned home to Montpelier, there was 40,000 people out in front of the State House to honor him.
Now, and of course, we have a lot of that material at the Vermont Historical Society, and Mike will go and we'll take a look at some of that a little bit later. That celebration here in Montpelier, I've read about it. It's like something else. I mean, huge bonfires, like on the ridges of the Green Mountains that were lit as he entered, and then a huge bonfire pyre, I don't know what you want to call it, above this, on the hill above the State House, which is wooded now. It wasn't wooded then. And then the State House itself was lit up with electric lights, which is like this brand new thing. I mean, it's just spectacular. All the buildings up and down this street just covered with bunting and people and parades. And I mean, so much so that there were some political aspirations as well.
Yeah, I think so, but he didn't, he ended up dying just before, on the eve of World War I, so 1917, and so that obviously did not happen.
He wanted the Democratic nomination for president in 1900, but I think that not the Senate primaries, but the delegates didn't favor him.
He lost because he made some like really not great remarks. So, but anyway, Dewey was so popular when he came back to Montpelier, and we had this whole celebration, but that continued. There was a holiday, right?
Yeah, it was a Dewey Day. It was, and we've got pictures of the State House decked out in buntings, the Vermont Historical Society Pavilion building decked out in buntings, and it was actually even most recently celebrated in 2018 when Governor Phil Scott signed a proclamation naming the day Dewey Day.
So here we are, landlocked state, Vermont, and have, arguably one of the most famous admirals in U.S. history born here. And, how quickly we forget these things, but it's wonderful to talk about it.
And he's the reason the Vermont State House lawn has 2 naval guns on it at this place in history.
Mike and Steve, thank you. After watching the movie Jaws, it's easy to be